I got 2 words for you. Pod Chef.
Keep it in.
What's up, guys? This is Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast, where I say the name right every time. And it's me, Brian, your best friend, with my 2 other best friends and your best friends, Jamal and Reeves. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, everyone. That was the 3rd time Brian did the intro of just saying the name of our podcast.
Yeah, whether or not he edited it out or not, he did it 3 times before we got started. And also, if you're like some of the other fans, I've been getting some fan mail. They've been asking, Jamal, how come you aren't hosting anymore?
Mhm.
And I said, well, we did a focus group, and they liked when Brian was the focus. So Brian's now host again.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that results because it was so vague of just like they wanted Brian to be the focus, but it wasn't like Brian as the host. It just was like, we really think it's funny when Brian's the focus.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know how to like make changes based off of that.
A lot of people were writing. You know how you can write in on a ballot like someone you want to vote for who's not listed on the ticket. A lot of people are writing in the focus group comments. We like the double takes he has to do. We like when he fudges words. We like how long it takes for him to play a clip. So people were actually like turning your mistakes into like content. And so they said they wanted it. We're giving it to the people. Brian's the host.
And I hope you're happy, everyone, because this is what you wanted. I'm very phlegmy today, and I apologize for that. Because we got a big one, folks. It's the finale. We're done with season 1. We watched all of season 1 together. Me, Reeves, Jamal, all of you, every listener at home.
Yeah, we did a watch party every week. Thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, we did it. This is we're going to talk about season 1, episode 12, Vegas finale part 2.
We made it over the line. It's the finale of the finales, season 1. Got to say goodbye to everyone. But it's a big final bout, man. It's Harold versus Tiffany. As they try and paint it, it's good versus evil.
It's Thanos versus the Avengers.
Yes.
Oh wait, hold on. I want to do one. It's Batman versus the Joker.
Yes, and I have one too. It's Batman versus Iron Man, and so they all.
Right, I've got one too. It's Batman versus Dark Batman.
What's Dark
Batman?
Oh, the other timeline Batman from when Flash was playing with the time. Was it the time?
Like the continuum?
Space
time continuum, yes. And he went back and found a Batman who does kill people. So,
wow. They should do that for Top Chef. There should be Top Chef like fan fiction that are like Alt Dimension season 1 Top Chef. And in that one, everyone is Steven.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So how do we work with Steven's character in that? Is he now normal?
Yeah.
If he's Bizarro Steven, yeah.
Yeah.
He's normal. Tiffany is nicer. Dave is a priest or something. And
I think we also would have to do everyone else is really Asian except for Leanne.
Oh God. Oh boy, you gotta cut
she makes it a point to say that she's the only real Asian. Remember?
Man.
That was a callback. That was a callback.
Oh, that's the end of us. Well,
it was a callback.
We had a good run. We did one season. We're out of here.
It was a flawless callback, and it was very funny. And everyone's having a good time.
And to all our fans out there that are saying that it's bad that it's just 3 guys on this podcast, 2 of whom are white. And that's a problem. I mean, clearly it isn't. We don't have those problems. There's no gaps in knowledge for us.
I didn't know Brian was auditioning for SNL, so that's news to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, didn't even get in the door. They found the podcast.
Yeah, they probably heard the podcast and said, no, not good enough.
So I'd be a bad host. We've already gotten into it a bit, but let's go back just a second and talk about what we had for dinner last night.
Oh yeah.
Reeves, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I did a sheet pan roast, which I do often. I usually do it once a week. They're always pretty easy. Also, by the way, in case anyone cares, I do pretty much all my recipes come from the New York Times cooking recipes. They're all great.
Do you pay for the New York Times?
I absolutely do. I only support failing fake news. It's that in the Post. So I made it was a sheet pan of what was it? It was Italian sausage, red onions, just regular bell peppers. What else was on it? Some broccolini and probably some other things I don't remember. And then you just put like oil and like salt and kind of a couple of seasoning on it, and you just roast it for about 15 minutes, and then it comes out, and it's muy bueno.
That sounds muy bueno.
I had blackened chicken with Brussels sprouts that were roasted, and the go-to sweet potatoes sauteed, this time in butter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm cooking with butter again. I just want you to know. A lot of people don't know this, but butter makes everything taste 10 times better.
Everyone, Jamal's back on butter.
I'm back on butter. Take that, butters. So I'm cooking with butter again.
Take that, margarine.
Yeah,
Fuck.
no,
Yeah, take that ghee.
yeah, take that, Ed Gee. So
Wait, are we saying Ed Gein, the guy who ate people?
yeah, take that, Edward Gein. I'm cooking with butter again, and I know the phrase is I'm cooking with oil, but once you melt butter, it becomes an oil. So, just want to say, I'm gonna go back to olive oil. It's just trying something different because in the pandemic, you want to try some different stuff here and there. And so far, oh my god, it's amazing. So that's what
we're still in the pandemic when this episode comes out. It's still happening.
Were we not supposed to mention that?
No, you just time stamped it so everyone knows.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, I'll go. I had frozen fake chicken patties and French fries. Moving on. So in this episode, it was.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, sir.
Fake chicken patty.
Could we go back a second?
Yeah, Boca spicy chicken patties. They're fake chicken, and then you.
Well, hold on.
So hold on. Let me
about them.
Well, it's not real chicken. So here we go. I'll do it like Reeves did it.
Okay.
So I did a sheet pan roast. I took a sheet pan. I put the frozen fake chicken patties on it, and I
sounds like a bake so far, but keep going.
Put the frozen French fries on it.
Still
threw it in the oven about 10 minutes. Took it out, flipped it.
Still sounding like a bake.
Took it out. Put it on some buns. Put some ketchup on it.
Still a bake.
What's the difference between a bake and a sheet pan roast?
You didn't put any oil or anything on this.
Yeah, it had oil on it. It was French fries.
It's also the heat. So
yeah, it didn't sound like you're like putting it at 400 and like really getting the temperature up there.
It's 425.
Oh, okay, but that still sounds like a bake.
No, it's sheet pan roast.
10 minutes each side. Come on, that's a bake.
So it would be a roast if the items that you had were not already frozen and cooked, and you weren't just heating them up in the oven.
Booyaka!
That sounds like a we're getting lost in the minutia of this.
Yeah,
it was a sheet pan roast. It was a sheet pan roast.
It's not a roast. It's a sheet pan bake, and at that, it's a sheet pan quick bake.
It sounds good. Sounds like it probably was tasty.
Yeah, I ate it really cold. It was great. What is my life?
425 degrees.
So, all right, we did that. Oh, guys, we're back on the outline. We're doing the run of show again.
This is what they wanted. Hey, I just want to say this might be the finale. And Reeves, you said it earlier. This is the finale. We're not saying goodbye. That's what I wanted to say. We're not saying goodbye. We're saying see you later.
Mm-hmm. We're saying see you later.
Yeah.
Wait, are we saying see you later?
Yeah, we're not saying goodbye as in finale, like we're never going to see you again. We're just saying see you later.
That's what Tom's saying to the audience.
Yeah, that's what Tom's saying to the audience.
Okay.
This is not the end of Top Chef. We're just saying see you later to San Francisco.
Right, and Vegas.
Yeah, but the season's based in San Francisco.
Yes. You guys ever been to Vegas?
Nope.
Yes.
Jamal has a bad Vegas story.
It's a terrible story. And
We all know it.
can't even get into it. There's too much. It'd take up too much time in the podcast.
All right. We will do an episode later where Jamal just takes us through his Vegas trip.
Yeah, just don't go to Vegas with your best friends.
Don't go to Vegas with your best friends, but do go to Vegas with Tom Colicchio, Gail Simmons, Katie Lee Joel, and 8 other chefs who are real jerks at the table. And also Tiffany and Harold were there. So, this being the finale of Top Chef Season 1, let's talk about what's at stake for the winner. If you win, whoever wins this is getting a feature in Food and Wine magazine, a showcase at Food and Wine Classic in Aspen, and that's Colorado. They get a state-of-the-art Kenmore kitchen from Sears, which doesn't exist anymore. Sears is gone.
It's gone, folks.
Timestamp. Let's timestamp this episode. And you get $100,000 to kickstart your culinary career or travel if it's going to be Tiffany.
Which in today's money is about $1,000.
Yeah.
Market
Inflation. That's basically, I mean, this time kind of stamps it. So I'm sure when people are listening in the future, like $100,000, I have that in my pocket right now.
Right now. Yeah.
That's how much it costs to, I don't know, buy a stick of gum.
Yeah. $100,000 bill.
When your parents give you $100,000 and they say, don't spend this all in one place.
Yeah.
You run down to the corner store and you get Airheads, blow it all.
Blow it all, your $100,000. Yep. So they're in Vegas and it's all to play for. They got all the chips. It's all on the table.
They're going all in.
They're going all in. You got Tiffany, you got Harold, and you got one elimination challenge. And it's to prepare a 5-course meal at, I guess it's like 2 of Tom's restaurants. Like Harold is at one and Tiffany's at another. Just a 5-course meal of your choosing. And you got to wow the judges.
And you have to pair them with Bracco wines.
That's right.
So, this is the proper finale because we've been hearing from Harold all season. Look, I just want to cook. I just want to be in the kitchen. I just want to cook. Well, Harold, now's your time. This is your challenge. All you got to do is cook. There is no time restriction. There is no ingredient restriction. The only real thing is like, you got to pair with a wine. But outside of that, you're free to make this menu however you want and just showcase yourself. And we all know Tiffany's the same. Like, I just want to cook too. So now we got 2 I just want to cooks going at it for the finale. But then they throw a little monkey wrench in there and they got to pick, they need some help, some sous chef. So who do they bring back other than, I like who they picked to bring back because it's Steven, it's Dave, it's Miguel, and it's Leanne. All 4 of them hate Tiffany. So,
yes.
That is perfect for TV.
A lot of love for Tiffany. I think this is probably I'm sure the other people that weren't there are good chefs too, but I think this is probably the top tier of the people for this season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because in other seasons, like they bring back everyone, or it's a little bit weird with how they select their sous chefs in the finale. But this one, it's like they brought back all the good people, and they all don't like Tiffany.
Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say they should do this more often. The way that they did this was so great. Like the way that they established teams was fantastic. It was like great TV. Like, is that what your clip says, Jamal?
A little bit. Let's go into it.
Okay.
A top chef is one who inspires other people to want to work for them.
Hold on. Let's pause it right there. The top chef is one who
piss
inspires.
Our editor is going to be.
You're going to piss off Jenny.
Well, hold on. We're not talking over the clip. Pause the clip. The clip's
no pausing.
fine.
It's bad. She hates that.
You can pause it.
What I'm saying is, he said the top chef is one who inspires others to cook with them, right? This is like one of those things they do in the beginning of an episode where they kind of give the game away a little bit. So let's hear the rest.
The 4 of you are going to be given an opportunity today to pitch in and help one of these 2 chefs win the competition. We're going to go down the line and tell us who you'd want to work for and why you want to work for them. Dave, we'll start with you.
I've worked with both of you in several cases. I think I'd like to work for Harold.
Yeah.
again, we both are amazing chefs, and Harold, I love working with you, man. So you're my choice.
Steven.
I'd love to work with both of you, for sure. But I think I would like to say, just keep it interesting. I work with Tiffany.
Thanks.
How did you, Chuck?
I don't know. I mean, do I even it out?
If three of you choose to work with Harold, then it's Harold's choice.
I just have a good connection with Harold, and I would like to work with Harold.
Okay, so Harold, you have Dave and Leanne and Miguel want to help you share your vision and get you to win this competition, but you can only have two. So who do you choose?
First off, I gotta take Leanne because I just have a great relationship with her. We work really well together. And I love both you guys, Miguel and Dave, and the way I see it, I say we draw knives.
Listen to this one.
So,
I like it. Turn the tables, kid.
Dave, Miguel, whoever pulls knife number one will be my partner.
Yeah, it's respectful.
So before we talk about that, I just want to say, Reeves and Brian, I love working with both of you, but if I had to choose, I'm working with Reeves.
And so I'll go next. I think that you're both great, but let's make it interesting, and I'm gonna go with Jamal.
Okay, and now I go, and I just want to say, fuck. You guys are both amazing. I respect you guys so much. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so I'm going to flip a coin. Heads, it's Brian. Tails.
Wait, hold on. Can you use a coin from the Civil War era?
Sure.
Good. Okay, so those are weighted differently. Okay, I want heads.
You want heads? Okay.
Yep.
Heads, Jamal. Tails, Brian. Okay, it's heads. So I will go with Jamal.
Great, and I don't feel bad about that at all. That's fair.
And we
You
just
guys
solved
heard
it the
the
same
coin.
way. Yeah, you heard the coin flip, and that's how he picked me. And it's solved the same way Harold, quick on his feet, solved not just coming out and saying, "Hey, one of you is going to work with Tiffany," and I think that should be you.
So I think that kind of based on what we knew from Harold, our best friend, is that he
Best
is kind of
friend.
close with Steven, and even in earlier episodes, you kind of see that him and Steven get along. I'm pretty sure Steven, if he had gone first in the order, would have said Harold. But because two people said Harold, he was like, I think for the sake of the show, I should say Tiffany to make it more interesting. And then also, we heard the reunion. He kind of changed himself a little bit and is becoming a little bit of a nicer guy. So maybe he was trying to be nice. But we find out later that it is very clear that this is a unified ex-contestant front where they all prefer Harold.
Well, also during that clip when Steven, before he starts talking, Tom kind of gives him like a look that says, you better not pick Harold.
Yeah, he just
you better pick Tiffany.
You better not.
But like, it would have been good if they all said Harold too. That'd have been very funny and crazy. I think
that's why they picked those four.
You have to give Bryan Cranston. I know Harold said that it wasn't Bryan Cranston, but I mean he signed it and he signed an NDR, so he couldn't have said that.
Yeah.
To pull off
what's an NDR again?
A non-disclosure agreement? Wait. What's the R for then?
That's what I'm asking you.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, keep going.
So Harold had clearly signed a non-disclosure agreement, so he couldn't have told us that Bryan Cranston was playing Steven. But the acting job to seem like you actually wanted to work with Tiffany, I mean, I almost believed it, except I knew.
Yeah, we
what was
knew
going
that
on.
he's a plant in the show, so we're like, wow, that's good writing at that point.
There is one other point, and I think I just figured it out in my head, so maybe I don't need to say it, but I'll say it. Harold told us that he picked Miguel to be on his team, but in this, he clearly had them draw knives. So I'm wondering, did they have like a little thing worked out where like
no? Oh, hold on. Did you not see what he did? It's super Sly. This is like super New York Sly stuff. He put the knives in. He knew which ones were 1 and 2, and he spun the thing around so that it was facing Miguel, the one closest to Miguel.
Yeah,
which is the number 1 knife.
You didn't see that, Brian?
You didn't see that, Brian?
Tom clearly does, because it's like when they're panning across to follow Harold, like Tom is the biggest like Cheshire Cat smile on his face because he's like, I'm New York. I know what's going on here.
Because in the episode, after he gets his team, Harold says, "Okay, New York, let's go." Almost like he knew what he was doing.
That's true. Okay, so this tracks because, as you guys know, I live in New York and I often frequent Times Square. I love it. The energy, the vibe, the lights, the dirty people in costumes. And I always try to do those like cup and the ball cup games. There's always some guy in the corner and he's like, hey, I got 1 ball and 3 cups. I'm going to mix them up and you won't figure it out. And I never get it right. So yeah, I guess I missed that because I kind of, I think what it is when things move, I lose track of them.
Yeah. Your eyes can kind of sometimes help with that, but if you're not using your eyes, then you will lose track of stuff once it's moving around. So
maybe I should start using my eyes more when I'm looking for things. I usually try to do it by smell.
Yeah, that can throw you off. That's usually how dogs or wild animals find stuff.
This kind of like explains like why when we went to go play basketball together, it was like for me, it was a very like trying experience because like I passed you the ball and you were like, when are you going to pass me the ball? And I was like, I already did. And you were like, oh wait, let me find it. And then you put your nose to the ground and you started sniffing around looking for it. And I was like, oh my God.
He also kept screaming at like every person who was walking their dog by the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You kept being like, I'm here.
Who are you? I'm here. Who are you? Yeah, that was a weird Saturday. But this was a fucking cool way to make the teams. Like, even if Harold does some cool sleight of hand New York stuff, this was fun to watch. Like, having them say Harold, having to like look at Tiffany and be like, no, you fucking suck.
Yeah.
And then Harold's like, yo, let's fucking draw knives. And everyone's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
It was good drama. And then the way that it kind of like, it ended up with Miguel and Leanne on Harold's team, and then Steven and Dave on Tiffany's team was like perfect. Like those are the people that you want with Tiffany for like drama reasons to like make it interesting.
And also, I just want to say, if anyone's like thinking like, well, I guess Tiffany's not happy with her team, you'd be wrong because listen to Tiffany after the teams are finalized.
I'm happy to have you both. I'm really happy to have you both.
She's really happy to have them both. So she's fine with the teams being that way.
Yeah. It's so clear that she is like so authentically happy with what she's been dealt, and that in no way has, prior to her coming to this finale, did she maybe make a deal with herself where she was like, I'm just going to be positive and I'm just going to cook. I'm done with the drama. I don't care. I just need to get this done. That definitely didn't happen. This is just like legitimate excitement from her to like
elation
Dave and Steven. Yeah.
Pure joy, like the purest form of joy. And if you're wondering, was that blood coming out of her mouth because she was biting her fucking tongue so hard to say that? Yes, it was blood coming out of her mouth because she was really biting down on that thing because she was just so happy that they were on her team. And it's also a really good Katie Lee Joel impersonation with the monotone. Great. I'm really happy.
Oh boy. I'm going to miss Katie Lee Joel, by the way. I started thinking about it and I was like, she is like, I've gotten used to seeing her. It's going to be so weird next season to have like Padme there, who like someone. Katie Lee's a very nice woman. She did the best she could, but like Padme's like super Top Chef host, like really great, like cook and all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be like such a change.
Gosh. So, okay. I'm going to let the secret out. Tom's talking to me again.
Oh boy.
Okay.
He showed up at my apartment yesterday. He's banging on the fucking door.
What? Was he wearing a mask?
No, he was not.
Oh, God.
And I gave him one, and he was like, "What the fuck is this for?" And I was like, "For the pandemic." And he was like, "Oh, fine." So he put it on backwards, and he came inside. What's that?
So he knew about the pandemic. I thought like maybe you were going to say that like he was completely unaware that was going on. So he knew about it, but he was like, whatever, I shouldn't have to do this.
So I think the confusion is that when he hears pandemic, he hears Toyotathon. And so he didn't he was like, why do I have to wear a mask? I'm just getting great deals on Toyotas. And I was like, that's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to explain it to him, but he was like, I'm a fucking judge on Top Chef. Don't talk down to me. And I was talking down. When I explain things, I talk down to people. I'm kind of like a Steven. But so what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Wait, what were we talking about? So he shows up at my door. Shows up at my door.
I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm going to find it. What were we talking about?
This is what the listeners want, by the way.
I interrupted you at he put on his mask backwards.
What was I talking about before? What reason did Tom come over? What were we talking about before that?
It was probably about the hosting thing, right?
Bingo bongo. There we go. So Tom came over, Sans mask, and I gave him a mask, and it's a very funny mask. It's the one that I have. It's got Larry David all over it. It's very funny. Nice. And he wore it. I said, I got to tell you something before you record the episode tomorrow. It's a big secret. No one knows about it. And okay. This stays here, guys. Don't at Tom Colicchio. Don't at me. Because he didn't want me to tell this. He just wanted me to know before we talked about it. The way that they decided to do the next season without Katie Lee Joel is that they told her that they weren't going to do another season.
Oh no!
And then she just found out when it was on TV because this is before the internet, so she had no way. There was no announcement. This is 2007. There's no internet, and she was just sitting at home with Billy Joel watching Bravo like everyone does, and it was like, dun. She's like, this is gonna be a fun rerun, and then there was Padma, and she went, oh my god.
Yeah, and it said season 2, and she was like, wait, what?
I felt bad.
Going to be at season 2.
I felt bad, and Tom said that he feels bad looking back doing it. He said hindsight's 2020, and I was like, 2020, right? Ugh, terrible year. And I
want to hear more about the conversation between you. Forget the back and forth. It's very funny.
Well, so there's a lot of little, I said, oh yeah, 2020, bad year, right? And he was like, oh yeah, it's great for me though. He said he's almost like making Jeff Bezos money now. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. And I said, and I was like, well, there's a new season coming out, right? And he goes, oh yeah, it's amateur Top Chef. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? And he was like, oh, these are all women who haven't been on film before. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was
like, no, I changed my mind. I don't want to hear more about this conversation.
Oh my.
And then I made him the DiGiorno pizza.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
He liked it.
Yeah.
So Harold's team, the New York squad, goes cook at Nob Hill, and Tiffany's team has got to go.
One more second, really quick. Was anyone super surprised that Nob Hill was spelled N-O-B and not K-N-O-B?
So it's Miguel, and they're working with Harold, and Harold is a nice guy, even though Tom said it's, a Top Chef is one who inspires others to want to cook with them. Harold inspires his menu after his team because he wants his sous chefs to be inspired to cook with him and put their all in it.
Yeah, there's not too many snafus or anything like that. He definitely has a motivated team. They all are cooking. Everyone kind of understands what he wants to do, and he's just keeping it simple. He's just pairing. He's doing the challenge as it was prescribed to him. So he's pairing. He's letting the taste of the wines dictate what kind of dish that he's going to do. He's only doing one dish. And so they kind of show everyone kind of cooking in the back. Everything's going well. Everything's going great. There is one, I'll just call it a classic Miguel snafu.
A doozy.
A little bit of a doozy where he just gets a little confused about the coloring of pepper.
I'm cutting close, so we can still do it. We can make this happen. You're okay with using black pepper in here?
No, use white pepper.
This is white?
No.
You sure?
No. That one right there.
This is white.
Just listen to me, please. Right there.
I like that because it definitely kind of gives you more insight into Miguel's mind, and also a couple episodes back when he used salt instead of sugar to make a dessert. I think he just often gets confused with just basic spices, salt, pepper, and which one to use.
Well, he's doing doozies in the kitchen. He's got to slow down. He's got to cook his food, and just Just understand, cooking 101, seasoning 101, chefing 101. A lot of the 101 courses that a lot of people think that being great is like doing this very complicated stuff. Actually, all the greats master the basics. That's why they're great. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
Take-
think LeBron, is super fancy with all this stuff? No. He just dribbles.
He dribbles. He mastered dribbling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian?
So I wonder if Miguel suffers from what I suffer from, where he smells things instead of sees things.
Oh God.
Okay. That would make sense because it is funny. I mean, like we should, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be laughing at Miguel. The fact that he couldn't tell the difference between white pepper and black pepper,
Yeah,
and then
that's
argued with Harold about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Brian from a few years ago might make a joke that like Miguel doesn't see color, but let's keep going.
But you'd never do that, right?
You
That's
wouldn't
good.
do that, right?
Never
Yeah,
do that. I don't make a joke like that.
Okay.
So then let's go over to Tiffany's team. And just for a reminder for everyone who's wondering how she feels about her team, please understand that Tiffany loves her team. She's very happy with her team. She's happy to have them both. I mean, really happy to have them both. So they go over the menu and Tiffany lays it down that, hey, you know what? Why don't we do, instead of just doing a 5-course tasting menu, do a 10-course tasting menu? That'll be fun working with you two who don't like me very much, right? That'll be great. Let's do double the work. Are you already feeling like you wish you'd picked Harold in the beginning?
So you can see kind of like her concept, which she explains, which is like it's all about duality, and like that's like something that's like important to her, like the good and the bad. So that's why she decided to do 2 dishes each. Now, what makes sense to me is each person who is judging and is eating your food would get 2 dishes to understand the balance that she was trying to create.
Yep.
That's not what happened. Some judges get some dishes and some judges get other dishes. Now you can see that they're like kind of like passing around and letting other people try other things, but
Family style.
Yeah, family style. But it's like the way she explains it when they're out there is like, this is for the male judges. This is for the female judges. Oh yeah. And I guess a wine is supposed to pair with it, but that's not important.
Yeah. Then
Also
she picks an artichoke, which, as Steven, top sommelier winner, told us, that's the hardest food to pair with wine.
Which I wouldn't know or believe, but then Dana Cowan, who comes back in Top Chef a lot, she's always a special guest. It's also a real hard ass, super hard ass. Calls it out. I think she's like, why would they do artichoke that doesn't go with wine? And I think Tom's like, I think it's fine.
That's exactly what happens. And it's like it's clear that she knows what she's talking about. She like knows wine and stuff like that. Not that Tom doesn't, but he very quickly dismisses it. He's just like, it's fine, whatever.
Tom
This dish is great. Who cares?
Tom did send me a written letter. He said this episode he was just happy that they weren't getting ingredients from a gas station or someplace. That he was just happy to actually be eating food that the chefs had adequate time to prepare and not like rush to make a wedding menu in 16 hours. So he was really fine with most of what was put in front of him, which is why he cleaned his plate.
So Tiffany needs help. She can't do it all alone. She's got 10 dishes. So she's got to have Steven and Dave come in and help cook the dishes. And they are late, first of all, to their cook. And they
Wait a minute, Reeves.
Oh, go ahead.
Why could they be late?
Well, it's because they were having a good time.
They went out the night before, and unlike my trip to Las Vegas, where I found out I'm not cool enough to get into any after dark club, they went out and got in, had fun, drank a lot, and then they had to go to work the next day after having a fun night out with friends.
So, and I feel like we're already very heavy on Tom information, Tom intel, but I feel like this is kind of important. So I was curious about this because I reached out to Tom. I was like, I feel like, what was going on with Steven and Dave? Did they just went on the town, they had a good time, and Tom was like, have you seen The Hangover? And I responded back, yeah, of course. And he was like, that's not a fictional story.
Oh no!
And I was like,
who got trapped on the roof?
So that's why I was really confused. Because I was like, well, isn't there like a wedding or something they had to get to?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't really think that was what the story was. But apparently it's based on Dave and Steven. And I guess Ken was there too. And Ken got stuck on the roof.
Oh boy, that explains a lot.
Yeah. And so they spent the night, trying to find their friend, or I guess the morning. Isn't that what that movie is? Anyway, so they live the hangover and they're hungover and they got to cook now. And Dave keeps talking about how he wants to continue to drink, which makes me a little worried about him.
Okay. So in that clip, Dave sounds like he's dying. His voice is so raspy and he's so tired, and he is drinking wine the entire time. Tiffany has to tell him to stop drinking while he's cooking. It's a huge glass of wine. He makes faces whenever she does it. It's very, very funny. And I wrote a question here in our outline. I want to ask it because I have a fun story, and this is my cue for that. What's the hardest thing you guys have had to do while hungover?
Oh boy, this is where I'm going to lose a lot of our hardcore listeners because I've never really been hungover.
Oh no, am I going to be a fucking mess when Reeves says the same answer too? Am I going to be
I've never drank to the point where the next day, like, I was completely had a crushing headache and stuff. So I don't even know the effects of a hangover, really. I've never really had one, Brian, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so weird because I don't even really... Brian, I think you might need to explain what a hangover is. I don't think I know what it is because there's no way I've had one. Because there's I drank, of course. I'm so cool.
Do people normally do stuff when they're hungover?
You do if you have to. And so here's the story that this went
wait
really
a minute.
well.
If you know you've got something to do,
Brian, we don't need to hear your story, really.
Wouldn't you not drink heavily the night before?
So you know what? Here's I'm just gonna give you the short version. I'm trash, and Reeves and Jamal are adults, and I am garbage man at this point who eats DiGiorno pizza and gets hungover at work retreats. That's the short version of this. All right, that's the short version.
At a work retreat. Where was the retreat?
Yeah,
it was in Boston. Okay, it was in Boston, Massachusetts, and I got really drunk because you know what? The booze was free, and I don't turn down anything free. Nothing free. You give me something free, and I'm going to take it. I love
I feel
a deal.
like you weren't like wasted at my wedding, and that was free booze.
It was one of those situations when like I was like sweating so much, and I was drinking a ton, but it like wasn't like catching up to me. I think I definitely was. I also ate a bunch. That maybe that probably like sucked up the alcohol.
Because
I was drunk.
Memory of the wedding. Brian was drunk. Brian was definitely drunk. Brian's voice hits an octave of 10 when he's drunk, and he was at 10 from the vowels on.
So this is how drunk I was. I bought mini Cuban cigars for the three of us boys to smoke.
I forgot about this.
And both Jamal and Reeves said no. I was trying to get them to smoke them. And I ended up smoking one with, I think, some guy named Patrick. Is that someone who was at your wedding?
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah. He's a friend.
Yeah. Him and I smoked a cigar out of the wedding. And I've never talked to him before or after that. But it was like a long conversation. And I was pretty drunk.
Yeah. Brian's great when he's drunk because no matter how close or you're standing to Brian thinks you're across the room. So Brian will say something innocuous like, "Do you want another drink?" Like very loudly to your face, where you're like, "Brian, I'd like another drink, but I'm also standing right next to you."
Can I I know that Jamal like thinks that he's making me feel bad about this, but I'm fucking reveling. I'm getting so much attention right now from my two friends, and they're just saying things, and I sound so fun and cool. And all I'm saying is, if you have a wedding, invite me to it. I'm a lot of fun. I'm getting less fun as I age because I drink bad now and I get tired sooner. So do it quick.
It's got to be a quick wedding if you really want the best out of Brian.
Yeah.
We were doing good on time for a while, and now we're not anymore.
So I realized that too. So anyway, Tiffany put all her dishes out there, and people didn't really like them, and then they did kind of like them. It was like half and half. But at one point, should we go into? Have we set up who the judges are?
We mentioned Dana Cowan. Also, Hubert was there.
Yeah, Chef Keller.
And then
K-Dog.
You gotta get a celebrity for us viewers, because people at home, we're not gonna recognize Hubert Keller or Dana Cowan. We're like, who are they? Give us somebody that we know that we're gonna go, oh shit, Top Chef got them. And that person is Lorraine Bracco, who you may know from the one thing she's done on TV that you recognize is the therapist for Tony Soprano, Dr. Melfi.
But she's also the supplier of the wines for the finale.
That's right.
It is Bracco Wines, which I think is very funny.
So Lorraine Bracco's there. Dr. Melfi.
She's like Mozart with her words and her way of like critiquing food. It's like it's done in a way that I haven't heard said before. And it really just like brings to light things that I think, but I can't articulate as clearly and as beautifully as she does.
Both dishes are good, but they're not great.
I'm not needing to lick my plate, and that makes me sad.
I don't know why.
When I just finally have the words now for when I don't feel like I want to lick my plate and what that feeling is. And it is sadness. Because I often do want to do like a pre-rinse of my plate with my tongue before I put it in the dishwasher. And anytime I don't have that feeling, I'm like, I feel like I was cheated in this meal that I sat down to, that I prepared.
And it's like, what is the word? What am I looking for?
What am I
How
looking for? How do I put this?
So beautifully put, and it makes me sad.
So I'm going to do a callback to an episode, because this is the season finale for this. I think this is very funny. Jamal, do you think that you pre-rinse with your tongue? Because in another episode, you claimed to be a super duper dishwashing guy when we made fun of Miguel for not knowing how to use his dishwasher. Actually, I might have cut that, because so who knows if it's in. But when Miguel puts the Dawn in the dishwasher, we give him crap. But you pre-wash with your tongue?
I do a pre-wash with my tongue. It's not, I'm not scrubbing. I'm just licking my plate clean if the food was good. And then I put it in the dishwasher. How are you guys cleaning your dishes off? You put it in the dishwasher?
I just put it in the sink and just get a little clean it off a little bit.
Oh, are you? I hope you're not passively saying you as the husband put it in the sink, and then your wife comes in and cleans it.
I don't think I'm saying that. No, I continue the whole process. I then put it in the dishwasher. But
why don't you just skip the sink? Your mouth is nature's sink.
Wow. Your mouth is nature's sink.
That's a t-shirt.
And I think we just got the title of this episode.
And is that that's a t-shirt? Is that like a cliche that's annoying now?
It's Comedy Bang Bang, so people listen to Comedy Bang Bang. They might be cliched.
Finally gonna get some crossover.
So I'll give how I pre-rinse my dishes. Pizza doesn't need a plate, so I don't do it.
One last piece here on Tiffany's run. So yeah, of course she does 10 dishes versus 5. One of her, or maybe I guess it's both of the desserts are done by Dave. And we
Yes.
find out that Dave, like a lot of contestants, come up with dishes, recipes ahead of time that they like memorize because they want to use it for the show, especially if they think they're going to make it to the finale. They kind of already start coming up with a recipe. And so he already had that one in the bank. He took that on. He made that. And everyone loves it. I've never seen Katie Lee so enthusiastic about food on this show ever. She loved Dave's dish.
I think I'm not sure if this is that point, but there's a point when she like is expressive and like doesn't sound like a robot, and I think that's when it is. Like I'm like, oh, is she learning how to host? And it could have been this panna cotta.
They're all eating, and Dr. Melfi, who's already a wordsmith, also is having a fun time. So I don't think that she's just not liking the food. She's also making jokes.
More about the duality and what does she mean?
Do I have to put my Dr. Melfi suit on?
Fucking crushes.
Yeah, that's good.
Destroyed that. I mean, that's a type 5.
She's also clearly drunk here.
So that's part of the reason why I do like the way that she says sad, because it's a mixture of true emotion and clear dress. Sad.
Yeah.
I would have loved to get her, Dave, and Steven in the room talking about the food by themselves as the final.
I would watch that.
Oh man.
I just remembered the episode that she comes back on is when they go to Rayo's in like New York, and she's also very drunk there. She's like, I'm Italian, this place is Italian. Dr. Melfi's here.
Yes. She does get very drunk. I don't know. I mean, they must have broken this up. They couldn't have done it back to back, right? Or I know in other seasons they do the finale, like each one they'll do back to back. But I mean, like, especially if they're doing wine pairings with it. I mean, if they did that much wine, they would probably be drunk.
Yeah, it would have to be a different day.
Yeah.
They are wasted.
Mm-hmm.
So they do everyone has meals, and then, they go to the judges table, obviously, and they talk about it. But this time they bring in the sous chefs and they ask for their opinion.
First, Dave is like, I'm a professional and I'll do whatever. And then Katie Lee Joel asks, you could not have worded this question worse. She says, was she good to you? Which is what you ask if your wife passes away, or like if was she good to you? She asks it so terribly, and when she asks it, it fucking breaks Dave's fucking shit wide open, because he's like, I'm a professional and I'll work with whoever. Was she good to you? She fucking was mean to me. Like, he just loses it. He's also clearly very drunk. The way he talks, definitely. He's clearly drunk.
Yeah. Steven too. Steven's so like free with his words. Like he wasn't like Steven's free with his words in the other episodes, but this time it's like more of like a relatable honesty that he's giving. Like they should be kissing our you-know-whats. I also love when they ask, did you do the dessert start to finish? And he goes, oh yeah, that was me, all start to finish. When it's like, well, Tiffany just came in here and told us that she did the dessert start to finish.
Well, I think she comes after, and then he's like, the dessert, we all loved it. She's like, oh yeah, I asked him to do that. And he's like, Dave said he did the whole thing. She's like, well, we came at each other with different things. We worked together. And Tom's like, okay.
Yeah, but Tom sent me an email just before I finished watching it today. And he said, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why did I let Tiffany off when she clearly did not make the dessert? And he said, trust me. I rolled my eyes so hard they got stuck in the back of my head.
Stuck in the back of his head.
He said that's why they cut away from me right at that moment.
Oh my god! Oh no, that sounds terrible. It must have been so ridiculous that the eye roll was so
it was too graphic.
Yeah,
for Bravo, they had to cut and then reset his eyes and then start filming again.
Oh my god.
Did either of you two blokes, that's soccer talk for Reeves, start to feel bad for Tiffany at the end of this episode?
Yes.
Like, as much as she's like brought this on herself, like to hear everyone say they want to work with Harold, then to have her, I also wonder if like Steven and Dave kind of threw this, like to be hungover and then to keep drinking, and they didn't. I don't think they brought their whole shit.
I think. So I wrote this down. Like, I think they edited it in a certain way to tell a story. And it's clear that, like Jamal was saying earlier, like there was a tell at the very beginning of like the story of the episode is like everyone doesn't like Tiffany, and that's leading to her ultimate demise. Her ultimate not winning this competition.
She's dead.
But and then they kill her at the end of the episode. But I think that, like, based on the feedback that they give and like what the dishes were and what she showed, should she maybe have won? Because she did 10 dishes, and it wasn't like there was maybe 1 or 2 that they weren't super into, but there was a lot that they loved. And like Harold's fish, I think, had like bloodlines and stuff like that in there. So I think she definitely got a tough rap this episode. And maybe she should have taken it home.
I was gonna say, like, you kind of gotta wonder if the producers were like, Harold is a better representation of what we want this show to be, because they've made Tiffany out to be this villain.
Right.
I just felt bad though. It felt like piling on.
Well, speaking of piling on, listen to what I think was the icing on the cake, because you always remember the last thing you heard. So this is when they asked all the sous chefs in a line who they thought should win.
Leanne. Harold.
Love them both personally. Harold, absolutely.
Dave.
Harold, yes, Harold.
Steven.
Harold, no doubt.
I mean, they say you remember the first thing you see and the last thing you see or hear when it's like a line of things. So this is the last thing that is told to the judges. So you think that there's no way that doesn't influence their decision. Also be like, well, we've got Tiffany, who we've edited to be the villain. And so Harold is Iron Man. So we should, just go with him. And then how many times in this episode did Tom say, a top chef is someone who inspires people to want to cook with them. A top chef is this, top chef. And then, in his discussions at the end, he's like, hey, Harold, just so you know, top chef, it's not a popularity contest.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, just remember, it's really not about how much people like you. All right. It's about cooking. Okay. Yeah. And Harold, I know that maybe this is not something you're very much into, cooking, but that's what it's about. Yeah. It's not about how many people like you, actually.
They edited that clip together too. They couldn't get his rant succinct. It was like a very long rant, and so they edited it down to make more sense.
So Harold wins. He's the freaking winner. He's the top chef, and Tiffany doesn't take it well.
No. And I mean, like, she kind of, the writing was on the wall for her too, because like during when the judges are kind of like telling her what everyone said about her, like when they're in the back and it's just Harold and her, you can tell that she's very defeated. Like, I think she knows that this is probably not going to be one that she's going to win.
And I also got to say, I think that proved that the judges took into account the personal relationships that Tiffany had going on in the show, even though it's not called Top Relationship Chef, it's called Top Chef. So I feel like that's a little unfair. But let's listen to Tiffany lose, because if anything I've learned, you can tell a lot about a person by how well they lose.
It's been a long road to come this close and not do it. Like, it's tough. I've struggled my whole life. So the idea of having this money to travel, my debt's paid up.
So Tiffany loses, but she does have the first appropriate response to losing in the show. She understands that it's not good enough to just come this far and not win. She actually wanted to win. She wanted to take home all the money. A lot of the other contestants, when they lose, they're like, oh, to make it this far, I've already won. And that's not what the competition was.
Yeah. There's also a real fun moment where after Harold wins, like Tiffany's just kind of in the background, but she's like trying to be happy for him too, and like talk to maybe some of the other judges. And then like, Katie Lee turns her and she's like, "Oh yeah, I have to say this. You got to pack your knives and go."
You gotta
and
get
so
out
she
of
has to leave, which is kind of mean. Like we already know that she lost. Couldn't she just like be there to like be a friend to Harold and everyone else? And they're like, "No, we need you to get the hell out of here.
No, you gotta go.
This is for winners and judges, not people who've been kicked out."
This really goes south really fast. Like you want to hate Tiffany. She's kind of mean, and then like she's like, I came this far and I lose, and then she's like, and I can't travel, which is like whatever. And she's like, all my debts paid, and it's like, fuck, like you feel like they don't usually show that on TV anymore. Like they don't want you to feel that bad for the loser. They want you to be like, okay, everyone still did fine. But when she's like, oh, my debt's paid off, and it's like, holy shit, I feel bad.
No one wants to have to sympathize with who we've been marketed to be someone be the villain. You don't want to have to humanize them. So Tiffany really did catch us. She got it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jamal. Jamal's. It's okay.
She showed such determination, and I just feel.
Jamal, for the listeners at home, he has a wine glass in his hand right now, and it's shaking.
I'm so professional. I'm sorry. I'll stop crying. Just Tiffany reached me in a deep level, and I hope she's had nothing but success.
And we know that's not true because she comes back and loses other seasons too. And that is Top Chef Season 1.
We did it.
San Francisco. We did it. We finished. We did the whole thing. That's the season, guys. We're going to do more of these, I think. Why the fuck? We got nothing else to do. We're literally trapped inside our houses. We're all just trying to stave off insanity. And so we're going to keep doing this. Please go on iTunes or wherever. If you make it to the end of these episodes, which nobody does, go on iTunes. Give us a review. Tell us what you had for dinner last night. Subscribe. We're be here every Monday. We have a lot of episodes to watch. They're filming the new season now. We got content for you guys. So
we got content.
Please take our content.
Yes, listen to our content, review it, give it 5 stars, write your review where you say the thing about what you had for dinner the night before, and then also tweet at Tom and tell him that he should listen to our podcast. He should also have all of us on his podcast, which I haven't listened to yet, but I guess I will. Yep. And he should also review our podcast as well. I think that would be nice. Yeah.
That'd be great.
The podcast that he's making us do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tom, I hope you're this is when will this debt be paid, Tom? They're paying for the debts of our fathers, and that's a Switchfoot lyric.
Yes, that's
so
remember Jamal Switchfoot?
Yep, got it.
We were meant something.
So much more.
That's it. What a good band. So that's the end. We got to keep doing it, but that's the end of this season.
All right. So from all of us, from our family to your family, we bid you a pack your knives and go.